Here is the news at 10. First, the highlight. Lagos State government trains over 3,000 unemployed youths in 2 years to fight poverty, boost wealth creation. Organized labor demands wage review to ease cost of living as Nigerian workers celebrate May Day. And on the foreign scene, United States, Ukraine sign historic national resource deal. And in sports, Nigeria's Flying Eagles sets for rousing start against Tunisia in 2025 Under-20 AFCON. Now the news in details. I am Timmy Dayo Anthony. In a bid to reduce poverty and create wealth in Lagos, 3,600 unemployed youths were accommodated and trained by the state government in the last 2 years. Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Unemployment, Akinyemi Ajikpatafe, made this known at the ongoing ministerial press briefing at Alausa Ikeja to mark the second year of the second term of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration in office. While reeling out the ministry's achievements in the last 2 years, the commissioner stated that the ministry partnered some local and international academics to provide employability skills training for over 2,000 graduates, noting that some of them were retained and secured full-time jobs during their internship program. Ajibwatafe hinted that additional 5,500 residents will soon be onboarded under the NG Cares to receive a monthly stipend of 20,000 naira as part of the Sanwo-Olu administration's Themes Plus agenda of leaving no vulnerable Lagos residents behind on social inclusion, gender equality, youth empowerment, and economic resilience.
Regardless of age, tribe, or social status, as a ministry, we're committed to creating sustainable employment opportunities through skills acquisition for graduates and unemployed youth, as well as nurture innovation and support entrepreneurial spirit that drives our economy forward. It is noteworthy to state that the extension of the developmental pillars of Themes Plus agenda of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration for gender equality, social inclusiveness, and the youth, our ministry's programs and policies aligns with making Lagos a 21st century economy, education, and technology to drive the vision for a better Lagos.
While maintaining the micro, small, and medium-scale entrepreneurs were not left out, the commissioner said in the year under review, a total of 1.17 billion naira was disbursed as loan to upscale their businesses through the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, which he noted created a total of 43,830 direct and indirect jobs, as well as saved 34,542 jobs. Our correspondent Adiola Akindele reports that in the year under review, 25,954 residents in Lagos benefited from the federal government's renewed Hope cash transfer across 20 local government areas of the state. The Lagos State government has signed a joint agreement of Canada study tour with future perspective to train 18 youths with the theme Empower Lagos. Speaking at a press briefing to announce this initiative, Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlende, said the Memorandum of Understanding is a reaffirmation of the state government's unwavering dedication to youth development, global exposure, and inclusive leadership. Ogunlende noted that the signing ceremony marks the beginning of a powerful journey where the knowledge meets action, exposure inspires youth growth, and empower youth rise to become architects of a stronger and smarter Lagos. He urged beneficiaries to embrace the program and learn with open minds and be prepared to give back positively to the society.
Study tours such as this are strategic intervention. They are bold declarations that our youth are not merely the leaders of tomorrow, but active agents of change today. We are empowering them to think globally, lead confidently, and act with a strong sense of civic responsibility. This particular study tour will focus on leadership in innovation and sustainable development, with participants gaining hands-on experience in key areas such as innovators' mindset, strategic innovation, and entrepreneurship, design thinking, business model development, governance, and digital transformation.
On our part, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Toyin Okeosointolu, said the theme is not just a call to action, but a movement. Bold declaration that the younger ones are not just leaders of tomorrow, but the change makers of today. Mrs. Okeosointolu noted that the Canada Story Tour, which is a third in its series, is a transformative journey that is designed to expand minds, ignite dreams, and sharpen leadership skills with the best global practices. The beneficiaries commended Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the Ministry of Youth and Development for the opportunity, promising to be reformed leaders of tomorrow. The Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, LASEPA, has joined the rest of the world to commemorate the 2025 International Noise Awareness Day with the theme, Protect Your Hearing, Protect Your Health. Speaking in Alausa, the General Manager, LASEPA, Babatunde Ajayi, described the event as a global campaign against noise pollution because of its negative impact on human health. While highlighting the growing importance of noise regulation in Lagos State, Ajayi warned religious organizations, industries, and others against noise pollution.
So we call on music organizations and all the other people who are involved with noise production. So please stand by our regulations, act within limits. Make sure that you are not the reason someone else doesn't get sleep. Make sure that you are not the reason someone has mental health problems and cardiovascular issues from lack of sleep that you cause from continuous noise pollution. What we can take away from this year's celebration is the renewed drive by stakeholders, particularly all of the organizations I mentioned earlier, to be more deliberate, to be more considerate, to look at people around them and consider the kind of impact that the noise you generate has on their lives.
According to him, over the past 18 months, LASEPA has received about 1,616 noise-related complaints, of which 600 had resulted in enforcement actions across diverse sectors, including religious organizations, entertainment, club, lounges, and restaurants. Giving a strong warning to habitual violators of government regulations, the LASEPA boss announced that the agency will intensify its enforcement, including impounding sound equipment from the faulters, particularly in open markets and public areas, using loudspeakers indiscriminately. High point of the celebration was the presentation of Award of Excellence to the General Manager by the Music Advertisement Association of Nigeria and free hearing tests for participants, underscoring the importance of early detection and prevention of hearing loss. The Lagos State government is committed to building accessible, affordable, and a sustainable integrated transportation system that promotes connectivity to the state's rail, air, and waterways. Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Osiemi, stated this at the grand finale and awards ceremony of the EcoMove Lagos 2025 with the theme, EcoMove, Connecting Communities, Reducing Emission, the role of public transportation in achieving sustainable goals. Speaking on the theme, the Commissioner restated the commitments of the state government to collaboration, innovations, as well as building a sustainable transportation ecosystem, as well as reducing carbon emissions to make the community livable for all. According to him, the second phase of the Blue Line Rail Electric project will be completed by next year.
What that does is the more person that we have, the less cars we have on the road, which automatically reduces the emission we get from all of the cars we see all around Lagos. On our waterways, there's a project called the Omego project. This Omego project is one that is going to entail the dredging and channelization of our waterways. It's also going to be one that we're going to develop about 25 jetties. And to top it all, we will be well over 70 electric vessels.
Earlier, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Transportation, Toyin Aremu, said the week-long program emphasized the state government's unwavering dedication to sustainable urban development and public health through enhanced public transport system in a collective vision for a greener Lagos where communities thrive and emissions reduce for a livable future. On the spot, the General Manager at Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, LASEPA, Babatunde Ajayi, said according to the survey, the level of carbon emission are drastically reduced in the state, noting that the state government recognizes the importance of transportation sustainability in enhancing the quality of life of Lagosians. The event had in attendance the Commissioner for Transportation from Ekiti State, Kehinde Ajobiwe, among others. The federal government has issued a 7-day vacation ultimatum to traders operating underneath the Ido Bridge in Lagos. Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, gave the ultimatum during an inspection of infrastructure in Lagos in company of the Director of Bridge, Federal Ministry of Works, Bed Obioha, Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Olukorede Kisha, other top engineers in the ministry and contractors. Umahi said work will commence in NS other sites with demolition of unwanted structures. He said there will be weekend closure of the bridge for removal and replacement of weak asphalt, while there will be a major closure for replacement of the expansion joint on dates to be adequately announced.
What we've agreed is to continue with the initial scope of work and do some additional structural works to protect the major structural elements of the bridge. The bridge structural elements, the integrity are quite there and are very high. We've been able to see.
The minister also inspected the marine bridge in Wadapapa and declared that there will be closure for 21 days for lifting of the bridge for replacement of a large number of bearings. He assured that there will be sufficient announcement indicating the diversion and alternative routes and input of the public for a smooth operation. Umahi made a quick stopover at the Independence Bridge in fulfillment of his promise to check the condition 3 weeks after, and he declared the work satisfactory and permanent. He promised that bridges in the state will undergo periodic inspection for quick interventions on defects. And now to the rest of the stories. State chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress have decried the condition of Nigerian workers and called for the urgent review of the 70,000 naira minimum wage as the country celebrates the 2025 May Day. This comes just as Senate President Godswill Akpabio said the legislative and executive arm of government will not shirk the responsibility to work together to address workers' concerns and create opportunities for growth and prosperity. Organized labor leaders across the country said the Nigerian worker had been crippled by the high cost of prices and soaring inflation, which they added made the 70,000 naira minimum wage inconsequential. Following President Bola Tinubu's removal of the petrol subsidy on May 29, 2023, in his inaugural speech to the nation and the devaluation of naira, the cost of living has been astronomical, forcing labor unions and the populace to embark on several protests. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has officially declared the state's readiness to host the rest of the continent and the world for the 2025 edition of the All Africa Music Award AFRIMA ceremony. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who made the declaration when he received a high-powered delegation from the African Union and the AFRIMA International Committee in his office, said Lagos is more than prepared to roll out the red carpet for the rest of Africa in demonstration of the state's status as the creative and cultural capital of Africa. Sanwo-Olu said Lagos' acceptance to host AFRIMA 2025 aligns perfectly with his administration's vision to make the creative and tourism industry a major pillar of the state's development drive. He stated that his government had made significant investments in the creative industry, recognizing it as a key component of its theme's agenda. Governor Sanwo-Olu expressed his admiration for the flourishing creative ecosystem that nurtures talent, attracts global attention, and drive economic growth, all of which have been created by his administration. In her remarks, Head of Culture and Acting Director for Social Development, Culture and Sports at the African Union Commission, Angela Martins, commended the governor for his continuous support of the arts and reaffirmed the AU's long-standing partnership with AFRIMA. AFRIMA President and Executive Producer Mike Dada thanked Governor Sanwo-Olu for the state's investment in the creative industry, stating that AFRIMA is positioned to create big opportunities for tourism, entertainment, jobs, and the economy for the host city. African Union and AFRIMA International Committee will on May 13 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, officially announce and present the certificates to the host of the 2025 AFRIMA. And now to foreign news. The United States has signed a natural resource deal with Ukraine following a months-long negotiations. A statement from the Treasury Department external says the two countries will collaborate to ensure that mutual assets, talents, and capabilities can accelerate Kyiv's recovery. Many Ukrainians are called that the deal has been signed, but some are still worried about U.S. support. The initial agreement was due to be signed in February, but fell apart following a heated exchange between U.S. President Donald Trump and his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky. And now to sports. Flying Eagles coach Aliou Zubairu is confident that his squad will start their campaign at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations on a bright note when they face Tunisia today at the June 30th Stadium, Cairo, Egypt. Drawn in Group B along with Morocco, Kenya and Tunisia, Coach Zubairu said his players are ready to navigate their way through the section as they seek a ticket to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup to be hosted by Chile later this year. The coach said the boys are not under any pressure, given the results of the last meeting between both teams in the third place final of the last edition of the Under-20 AFCON, while Nigeria team trounced their Tunisian counterpart. Zubairu believed the Flying Eagles will secure one of the continental tickets to the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile in September. But just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersection, and pedestrian crossing. You can follow us and like all our social media platforms. X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 961 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. You can also subscribe and watch the news and program live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website at www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration introduced Lagos Economic Acceleration Program, LEAP, to reduce the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on small businesses? You can get more details on Lagos State Government's website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. In a bid to reduce poverty and create wealth in Lagos, 3,006 unemployed youths were accommodated and trained by the state government in the last 2 years. Lagos State chapters of the Lagos Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress have decried the condition of Nigerian worker and called for the urgent review of the 70,000 naira minimum wage as the country celebrates the 2025 May Day. We also told you that the United States has signed a natural resources deal with Ukraine following months-long negotiations. And in sports, Flying Eagles coach Aliou Zubairu is confident his boys will start their campaign at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations on a bright note when they face Tunisia today at the June 30th Stadium, Cairo, in Egypt. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. The ends news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbalagun. I am Dayo Anthony. Many thanks for listening.